So I started playing lacrosse in 4th grade. I started playing with my twin sister and my cousin. My uncle was our coach. We all started playing with also the group of girls we were playing soccer, basketball with. So we were kind of excited for a new thing to do all together. 4th grade, I'm pretty much just a mess. Like, no one really had any structure. It was a new sport in our town. Then 5th grade came around, and that was when you had a goalie and all the positions. It was more of a defined sport. And my uncle, who was still coaching, goes, "We need a goalie." I look at him in all seriousness, like, I hated running. I go, "Do I have to run?" He goes, "No, goalies don't run, they stay in goal." And I go, "Okay, sign me up, I'll be the goalie." And I had no clue what that meant. I did not know that meant I was gonna have this hard lacrosse ball being flung at me by people who really still didn't know how to play. But I went for it, and the minute I stepped in goal, I loved it. I was very grateful that my uncle then stepped up and took the position after my freshman year. So he kind of put that the wood under the fire for me to keep it going so I could keep playing. So I started doing college tours and everything like that. And that's when I found Bloomsburg. I found Bloomsburg as a sophomore in high school. I knew I kind of really wanted to play lacrosse in college, so I started my tours early. And I absolutely fell in love with the campus. And I told my parents on the car ride home that I was done looking at colleges, and they looked at me like I was crazy. They said, "No, you're not, you're gonna still tour." And I said, "No, like, I'm going to Bloomsburg." Then I get the question, "Well, what if you can't play lacrosse there?" And I said, "Well, that would really stink, but I'm going to Bloomsburg." And I kind of just kept working on my grades to make sure I academically could get in. And then through the years of lacrosse, I just kept working as hard as I could. My senior year of high school came around, and my lacrosse team was at the best it's ever been. We actually won the league championships for the first time in school history, which was obviously just amazing to do it for the first time at the school, but to have my twin sister be on the field with me, to have my uncle on the sideline, and basically my best friends who I've been playing the sport with my whole life, to do that all together just made that so much more special. And then that kind of also ended our season a little bit too at lacrosse in high school. So I was really thankful that I was able to then come to Bloomsburg, the school I loved, and get to play the sport that I still loved. I actually cried hysterically when I got the offer to play lacrosse here at Bloomsburg.
So Angela was coming to Bloomsburg with or without lacrosse. So during the recruiting process, I did need a goalie, and at the time I didn't necessarily need a goalie, but I wanted to bring in a goalie for that class. It was my first year. I was recruiting 2 classes at the same time, and the team was going through a transition just because of me coming in, and I wanted to secure the fact that I would have another goalie. But I mean, when I went and watched Angela play, and I've told her this, you know, one of the main reasons that I recruited her was, one, obviously athletically, she's great size as a goalie, but you know, sitting down and watching her at the field, she was very loud. She got scored on, and the first thing she did was turn to her team and yell something positive.
Fast forward through the rest of the summer and everything like that, come to Bloomsburg to play, and I have never been a runner. I have never been somebody who's liked running, but I was told that goalies run everything, you got to do everything, and I said, okay, like, if this is what I want to do, it's time to kind of start loving running a little more. I worked all summer long with my fitness. I ended up going to a place to train me to be better at running and lifting and all that. And I came in really great shape, and I had a goalie ahead of me. I kind of never expected to see the field. When I was recruiting Angela, you know, she came in knowing that there were 2 goalies ahead of her. So we had a senior at the time and I believe a junior. And so her coming in her freshman year, she kind of understood, her response to me was, "I'm excited to learn from them," which is exactly what you want to hear for a freshman coming in. And when she got here, one of our goalies left because of student teaching, another one left because she had a commitment to ROTC. So all of a sudden I sat her in my office and said, "Okay, Angela, you're our starting goalie, here we go." And her response was, "I'm ready to take on this challenge." So it was definitely, you know, a surprise to her, but she wasn't scared. She didn't hesitate to step into that role. As the years, I guess the season went on, I saw a lot of shots. I was getting hit a lot in the legs, and I ended up getting a blood contusion in my leg.
We worked around her injuries to best support her ability to stay on the field. She's in right now twice or 3 times a week as the schedule fits.
And Angela's one of those goalies that I think is a special goalie, because she doesn't just sit in cage. She comes out, she takes chances, so she puts herself in a position to get injured, but that's a sacrifice she makes for the team, which not all goalies will do. But I mean, she definitely puts in the work in the training room as well, so knowing that she has to take care of her back, do extra stretches outside of practice. She's willing to do the work to get herself back on the field to be healthy.
And then sophomore spring came, still the only goalie. Was healthy for a good part of it, and then I ended up twisting my ankle. And then in the fall of this year was probably one of the biggest injuries. I ended up having an avulsion fracture in my pelvic bone.
She played every game so that we needed her to play, but there was definitely games where she wasn't playing to her potential because of the injuries, so that was difficult.
So I was physical therapy 3 times a week for the entire winter break. I basically would wake up in the morning, go to physical therapy, and then go and work out in whichever way possible I could to still be able to stay in shape and get back in time for the spring semester. I was able to get back to fully running, lifting, and doing everything that I did before my injury, which was really exciting because I definitely wanted to come back in top shape possible to take on my junior year season with my team. Overall, I just do my best to try to keep my body as healthy as possible with trying to get enough sleep, eating right, and just going to the trainers, and if I have to, seeing a chiropractor or somebody outside of what this athletic facility has to offer me, because if I'm not in the best shape and healthy, it's really hard for me to perform to the extent that I know I can perform at, and I want to be healthy for my teammates because they are doing so much to put their bodies to be in that best possible shape. So I want to have their back and do what I can so that they know if a girl gets on the 8-meter that I have their back. I'm going to do my best to make the save and ultimately try to get that win for the whole team.
She's overcome all the obstacles that have been thrown at her, and again, that comes down to her heart and just wanting to do what's best for the team. So she's definitely been through a lot, but I think it's made her a better goalie in the long run.
Luckily, I get one more season left as a Bloomsburg lacrosse player. I'm really excited for one more season with some of my best friends and my family. We have a good group of incoming freshmen coming. Luckily, we only graduated 4 seniors, so we don't have to replace too much. And I really can see our team going a lot further next year. We have a 3rd goalie coming in next year, so that's going to not only help my body, but it's also going to push me to work 10 times harder this summer to make sure that I'm staying healthy, getting stronger, faster, and just ultimately being on the top of my game for one more season as a Husky here at Bloomsburg.